Over 1/3 of our daycare facilities in Kansas are never inspected by the state. We told you last night about a group that is on a mission to inspect the rest through a bill now in the Kansas Senate. Well, there is another part of that bill that they say is equally as important. As it stands now, Kansas regulations do not mandate that a child care provider be in the same room as the children they are caring for. That, says one set of Kansas parents, cost them their toddler's life. Lexi was the Engelmans' firstborn. On a normal August morning, the 13-month-old was dropped off at only her third day of daycare.
The child care provider left the child care area, which was in the basement, and went upstairs, and there was a baby gate at the bottom of the stairs, and Lexi, being very mobile and being very distressed, she tried to follow the daycare provider. Lexi got herself caught between a support beam that was against the stairwell and a pack and play, and basically was just lodged up against there and couldn't get herself out, and she was asphyxiated.
Lexi was on life support for 5 days.
We had to make the worst decision of our lives. And that evening we had to walk out of that hospital without our daughter.
It's bad enough, say the Engelmans, that the Johnson County daycare provider left the basement, came upstairs, and left several children all under the age of 13 months. What's even worse, they say, is that it is not against Kansas regulations to do so.
Put it in the box.
Although this daycare provider always has her eye on the kids, many don't. That's because the state requires daycare providers to only be within earshot of the children they are watching. That means under state guidelines, you can leave the kids anywhere, as long as you can hear them. Well, you could be 2 rooms away and still be in earshot.
You could be a football field away. If there is a requirement that children need to be within eyesight and earshot of their child care providers, our daughter would be alive today.
30 children have died in Kansas daycares just in the last 3 years, 10 in Sedgwick County alone. Many say child advocates because the provider just wasn't watching them. That's why the Engelmans have been pushing changes in regulations for the whole 5 years that Lexi has been gone. They finally have a bill before the legislature that, except when napping, providers must be within eyesight of the children they are watching. Through billboards, a website, and more, the Kansas Action for Children is getting the word out.
Legislators have an opportunity to react very positively to it, to do something constructive, something that's not going to cost the state money, and that will ensure a level of protection for consumers, for parents that hasn't existed before this.
The KAC got Senator Julia Lynn to sponsor Senate Bill 447.
This bill would do that. It would provide specific definitions of what supervision is in a child care facility. In other words, they need to be within sight and sound of the children.
I'm very afraid that it won't go through this session and we'll have to wait till the next session. And we know that more children will die in Kansas. She would have been 6 years old. She would have been in kindergarten. There's so much that we're losing out on her life.
Kim and her husband say if the bill does not pass, they want to get the warning out to other parents that in a licensed or registered daycare, their little one could be left in a room with no one watching.
We believe that she can see us from heaven and that she's looking down and she's our cheerleader. Then the one who's helping us to keep move forward and say, yeah, Mom and Dad, you can, yeah, make it right.
Now, the Engelmans want people to know that there are excellent daycares out there, but they say they did a lot of research, even had family members visit the daycare, and still it wasn't enough. If you would like to go beyond what state regulations require and get more information on how to research a daycare, along with a list of 10 questions to ask your provider, you will find 3 different links on our web channel, cake.com. Jeff?
All right, Sue, thanks.